Hey everybody, Jay Barino here. Welcome back. Continuing UEDAIP. It's a remake of the 3 Brood War campaigns in StarCraft Remastered with a number of changes. So we're heading into Countdown, which is the finale of the Protoss campaign. I imagine this is going to be a big one. A doozy, if you will. And we have cached data from last mission and Mission 3 that should result in something on this map. Let's get into it and see what it's all about.
When you bring the crystals to the temple, the Zerg will surely send all their legions to destroy you. You must be prepared to protect the temple itself from the swarm.
It will be done.
Hello? Okay, there it goes. I'm like, are these my allies, or what's happening here? Interesting. Okay, so we only have one base to deal with. Did I get these guys because I saved the Templar archives? How come some are green and some are blue? That's interesting. Our bridge defenses are there. Fleet beacon. They're expanding. There's our gateways. And then there's this yellow faction down here. I can only imagine that, well, yellow controls this stuff, but I wonder if yellow has a base at all because of our pacifist route in Mission 7. They've got some resources there. And again, similar to what I've said in the past, like, I don't necessarily want to expand to those places until I know that they're not going to take them, I suppose. We've got some resources here. And then obviously our ally took this. And again, it's possible that they're only expanding because we did that in Mission 3. We secured the bottom left expansion. Because this is also where the expansion was, I think, in Mission 3. Or was it this? I think it was this, actually. Interesting. Well, they're not taking it. Oh! I don't know. It didn't even click with me. I was looking at other stuff. The entire temple area is secured by Red, which is the faction we played at in Mission 3. So that's consistent. That's thematically consistent in the sense that we secured this with Red in Mission 3. So, of course, they're the ones that are set up at the temple. I mean, there's a whole base here. I should just run Zeratul and Artanis to the beacon in the first place. Here's what I'm going to do, because we're in a position now where, again, there's a lot going on, and we are really just, it's seemingly just a minor player at this point on this map, is I'm going to scout around and look for a good expansion to take. Like this one right here looks promising. So who's up here now? This is white, because red is our ally. This is normally red. Again, I'm just gonna look around and maybe take in and get a general sense of where the AI is focusing on, so that we can kind of decide where we're gonna set up a location to hold down. Because we have so many allies on this map. Again, we are almost like in a support role at this point. We got to get in there and support red as best we can. Again, I'm gonna uncover as much as I can, and then I'll restart the map. This is something I've done in other games as well, where a map seems particularly huge. It's better to go on an information gathering session for science before we do anything else. There's a Nidus Canal's just sort of out here.
I am ready.
And it's invulnerable. Okay.
I concur.
This seems like an okay way that we could rally our units up here in order to attack white, rather than just bombing up ramps. It almost seems like if I want to set up like a rally point, we want to do it sort of like in this location. Get units up to that general location so that we can support our allies and also support and ensure that this base that we were to set up here survives. So I guess I'll set this up. Again, though, I plan on restarting because I haven't really been doing anything. That's the thing, though, with these like for science attempts, is I don't necessarily need to do things this way. I could actually play the map while information gathering. But again, I'm sort of curious to see it. It doesn't seem like they're taking this. But yellow has probes. So again, I'm particularly curious. Oh, I bet those are the Dragoons that we got. If I had to guess, those are the Dragoons that we got for saving the cybernetics cores. I think that's what it was, the cybernetics cores. Our bridge defenses are holding it down. Again, it's cool to see some of the stuff that we have now, simply because we... I wonder if are they blocking their own expansion? I wonder if maybe it's just like a set amount of time has to pass before they will take this. Because, like, again, they have probes. So it really makes me wonder if I'm missing something, or there's something going on with the bank data. Do you guys not even have Storm? It's sort of like almost like a joke of an addition of units here. I mean, they are giving us vision to ensure that stuff is going to be coming from us to hit us over here. What I'm thinking I'll do is I'll come over here and take this base, and I can just put some cannons, like cram some cannons in there, and then maybe Zeratul. And then this seems like a freebie base to take as well, but we're going to need some additional defense in this location also. But there's Nidus Canals here too. So both of these bases seem promising. And then what we can do is if we have units stationed here...
Our scouts have sighted Nidus Canals imbued with energy that we have never seen before. Under attack. It seems that they are impervious to any of our attacks. Our only hope of stopping the underground flow of Zerg might be to raid their hive and destroy the passageways into their Nidus systems.
So that's these, I think. So he's basically saying that we should kill the inputs into the Niduses to stop them. Is that... It's orange here. Are there any brown ones? Again, this base has seemed relatively fine, and it's mostly errant units coming for it, so we should just, you know, watch out. Those hunter killers that we saw, those do a lot of damage, and they regenerate their health super fast is kind of their deal. See, if we were to set up defense here, and maybe even on the low ground, and then the High Templar will support us, it's possible, again, they're not building, that if yellow were to actually... Oh, okay, Cyan is taking it.
Yes, Executive.
Maybe because we took Cyan's other expansion up here. I don't know. Again, now I'm kind of questioning what order we want to do this in, or if it even matters, and this base is simply the extra expansion that we got for our Mission 7 bank data. Because I also know Nekron has said that the bank data isn't supposed to have such a massive effect that it's going to, you know, determine the outcome of the map. It's just, you know, supposed to be little... you know, flavor inputs, essentially. And to me, again, that's how I treat them. They're just cool. They're just neat stuff. So yeah, I think we take this and this. Or, well, again, we know that Cyan takes this one. Maybe they would have taken this one instead, and now they're blocking Yellow's ability to expand. I don't know. Maybe it was just something that was supposed to happen. Also, I've built nothing, and we're all still alive. Everything's still alive. So to me, this means, again, we're playing a heavy support role. We go Gree economy. We defend this side of the bridge so that we can get some units back and forth across to this Nidus of stuff that's going to be coming out of this Nidus and to our expansion, which is probably going to get wiped out a couple times if I had to guess. We could also cannon spam the Nidus. And then we will steadily build a force of Hornets and Scouts and a few Corsairs to disruption web the Spore colonies as we fly it and just hit the Nidus canals. That will stop Orange from being able to reinforce across the way. And this is one of those maps where I'm sort of intrigued just to watch it happen as opposed to actually participate. Obviously, we can't win the map that way. Anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and restart. All right, so I played for 8 to 9 minutes at the beginning there. I've played here for about 3 or 4, just to kind of cut out the beginning of the map that you've already seen, and I've started enacting my master plan, which is to take this base down here. You may notice on the minimap that the layout of Yellow's base is actually slightly different. Yellow expanding and making a nexus was actually the reward for the pacifist ending from Mission 7, and it just wasn't working properly. Nekron had to change around the layout of the base. I don't fully understand what happened, but this is the result, so I got an updated version, and things are going similar to what I expected. I have some defenses set up here on the other side of the bridge, and by defenses I mean a couple units. And I'm leaving Artanis on hold position because I really can't afford him getting himself killed, and I'll send a probe up there to set up more defense. So I'm getting all my basic upgrades, going to continue getting probes at home. I'm going to get probes down here. And now this is really just about catching attacks that come down here from white, which, again, I can do by having defenses here to, again, exactly this, catch these. Now, the thing with the Hunter Killers is, again, they regen health really, really fast, but Zeratul should be able to just roast these really fast, as well as kill the Zerglings, So this should work. The cannon itself may go down, but that's okay. And we stopped white from having attacks come elsewhere to my base. Actually, don't set that one up there. We're going to try to cram these in a little bit further back. Okay, so I've got this base, and I'm just going to leave Zeratul here.
You address me.
And I guess I'll just move him out to continue killing Hunter Killers.
I do this for hire.
Okay, very nice. And then this up here is still under significant threat. I'm going to start getting more zealots, and I'm going to send a probe up there so that we can start making some cannons, because again, this is going to be my launching point for all of my future attacks. Is this area right here. Okay, I don't know if white can build hunter-killers, and if they can't, that's good for me, because we're killing a bunch of their pre-placed stuff, so this all works out. And again, it's also making sure that we can defend ourselves with the amount of stuff that's going to be coming from that direction. Red is our ally. Be careful, Artanis, please. In fact, we can use him, I suppose, to just attack this stuff. Or not. Okay, and then let's go to grab a Templar Archives. Continue getting probes, get this gas fully saturated. Okay, and then Zeratul still doing his thing. So whatever defense we have here really currently is not enough to keep it alive if we get hit with a large attack. But for now, we should be good. This is about the Nidus Canals. We can ignore this.
It seems that they are impervious to any of our attacks.
And let's go ahead and move down here and start taking care of this stuff on the high ground as best we can.
To raise their hive and destroy the passageways into their Nidus systems.
So this is so that we can eventually attack white. I would very much like to attack white, but this, these units on the high ground are pretty rough. And seeing that that ground attack there reminds me that I really should go ahead and grab an observatory, as well as a robo support bay. So let's do that now, and then just get a few extra dragoons and zealots to rally up. And again, I'm going to want to make production structures up here eventually. Okay, Templar Archive is done, which means that I can start +2. I'm spending my money as fast as I can get it right now. I don't have extra minerals, but I do have extra gas, so I guess one way or another this is fine. I'm going to leave Zeratul here, and I'm going to start saving, because again, I've executed my start here pretty well. Anything could go wrong, though, so I'm going to grab some shield batteries as well. I got to be careful with Artanis. Granted, Artanis and Zeratul are just going to get thrown into the temple eventually, so if they get damaged in some fashion, it's fine. A couple Dark Templar could also be good, because if they attack down here, they may not necessarily have detection. This is a problem. Okay, so Cyan is taking this base. Maybe I should have taken it before he was able to. I don't know. But now he'll be stronger, I suppose. Let's go ahead and take this gas. Okay, our mining is going decently. The shield regen could be good. Let's just go ahead and focus on getting our upgrades. And I did make the robo support bay, so let's grab Scarab and Hornet damage and then make a couple Reavers and move them up to my defensive position up here. Okay, where's Artanis? Don't chase stuff too much, buddy. Just gonna leave him on hold position over this. And I also have to be careful that I don't block in units that may be reinforcing from this location. So, again, let's just go ahead and grab cannons. And again, this is why I'm making cannons here, specifically because these enemy attacks are coming from this direction like this. I'm gonna grab one more cannon and one more shield battery, and then this should be decent. Oh dear, maybe not. Artanis. Oh, that's not Artanis. Okay, he's fine. He's a similar color, that's why it's easy to miss him. As long as he's attacking somewhere, and then we can give him his shields back. This is a very large orange attack, which is why we need to start considering what we need to do to get those Nidus Canals as soon as possible. Okay, back up. Hold position here. Let's go ahead and remake these cannons, put these things in a position where they can defend us. And I don't have enough production just yet, so let's just keep making zealots. We can get a couple revenants as well. And what I would like to do, again, is use this probe up here to actually make more production. That was a very large attack, so that's the kind of stuff we're going to have to be on the lookout for. And we probably want to get some scouts so we can chase around enemies. So back here looks like a pretty defensible location with a lot of room. Okay, let's go ahead and squirm our scarabs up here. You're on hold position. This base seems okay for now. And what I'm going to do is, can I build down here, I was going to say, I can build on the low ground and maybe defend my High Templar a little bit. Maybe yellow.
Complete.
That double robo support bay. I was going to say maybe yellow would make a Templar archive and research Storm. That would be really nice, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be in the cards for us. I'm going to start making Hornets, and the reason for that is I got to start considering how to snipe those Niduses. Alright, so let's go ahead and wait for these guys to make their way past us, and we got to put these gateways in position so that things will not get stuck. I'm going to get a Robo Bay up here as well. Robo Facility, rather.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, this should be good. 3 gateways and a Robo Facility. And then we can come over here and continue making more cannons, and as long as Artanis is here, we should be safe. My allies are defending themselves, and the fact that they expanded here means that they're more likely to defend things themselves. And they're actually starting to camp. This is good. They're starting to camp the Nidus worms. Let's queue up whatever upgrades we can. I will grab one with the Kala, I suppose, because it's expensive, and the sooner we get it, I guess the more benefit we'll get out of it once we can afford it. Dark Archons against Zerg, I mean, Maelstrom is good. You know, the lack of, making a Dark Archon in situations where you can't even, you can't utilize them to mind control is questionable to me. Let's go ahead and take this. The lack of bases is tough, which is why I gotta go for white here pretty soon.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, that's fine. Anything that'll just kind of keep them penned in here, they'll get a little confused. I've spent a lot of money on this, probably more than I should. I'm trying to rally units up to this location, mostly gateway units that we can push into white. And I'm also going to need observers, so let's go ahead and get one of those. And for now, I'm going to go for zealots, and then I am concerned about white counterattacking from the bottom. And I don't have if they hit me with a very large attack, Zeratul alone will not be able to stop it unless they bring no detection, which would be, pretty cool, but doubtful. I also started making these Hornets. I'm just going to leave them in the base. I'm going to continue getting armor upgrades and such. Carriers eventually. Disruption Web could be good as well, but I'm going to focus on making actual units so that I can get over there and start attacking white. Also, I'm going to get 1 or 2 errant cannons because units occasionally are just trickling through these areas, and they're going to get us eventually if we're not careful. Alright, and again, with the income that we've got, which is not super great, we need to be able to get into white's base. So that's my focus right now. I think 1 cannon right there should be good, and hopefully things don't spawn behind these buildings, because then they probably won't be able to get out, but we'll see. Huge orange attacks, and presumably coming out of Nidus worms. Nidus canals, rather. So we've got to really get into it. And probably waiting for +3 would be good, and I can grab another forge so that we can grab armor and shields consecutively. Not consecutively. Concurrently. Okay, observer sight range as well, and, mostly zealots right now. I need some more anti-air. Dragoons are mildly cheaper on gas, so I guess let's go ahead and grab normal Dragoons and then a round of zealots, and then that's what I'm going to use to try to push into white. Again, I may regret not attacking white earlier, I suppose. Let's go ahead and go ground armor. +3 is now done, which means I can grab plasma shields. Again, I'm going hard on the upgrades because this is also... Okay, good. They do benefit from these upgrades. They only benefit from the +1 pulse cannon from the Robo Support Bay.
Direct my wrath.
Where's that observer? Got a hotkey you, buddy. You're very important. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start attacking up into white. I'm going to save. This has been a good start. Actually, white is currently attacking me. So if we can force this back, which, I'm a little skeptical, but we'll see. If we can survive this white attack, then that means their base is emptied out and we can go and attack them.
So be it.
I'll go ahead and get this stuff set back up right away.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, so now let us go and attack white. You are, again, we can't risk Artanis. We could bring him in later, but just to start, it's important, I think, that we just get our units up this ramp. That's going to be the hardest part. Get the units up the ramp. Make some more Dragoons. Zealots, Dragoons, plus the upgrades that are coming up. We should be good. The better shield regen makes me a happy man as well. Let's back up just a little bit. We want to stay close together. Or better yet, we should just move the Dragoons forward. Perfect. Dragoons and Revenants, excuse me. Okay. Reaver, move on in. And this may or may not work. I don't know. We're going to find out. Get the Observer up there. I don't hear any lurkers, but we should be in good shape. And soon enough, I would very much like to move up and start supporting Red, who is doing fine, but again, gotta be careful. I'm gonna grab another Stargate, and then more Hornets, and then I suppose we can get Disruption Web.
You've not enough minerals.
Soon enough. Okay. It seems that we're through the majority of the white base. I have an observer somewhere. There it is. It's moving up now. Like, I don't know where it is. Keep going. Keep going. And again, it's like kind of getting up to the upper tier of upgrades here will help immensely. Okay, and then we're slowly making those Hornets, which again I'm going to use to snipe the Nidus Canals of orange. Because orange attacks are very, very large. Artanis, move back. Hopefully orange isn't coming in with like a huge attack now. Keep going. Looks like white space sort of wraps up and around. You guys move in and finish up this. I'd really like to just clean white entirely. Probably bring Zeratul up. Once that's gone, though, we don't need Zeratul here anymore. Nice job, Reaver. I guess let's bring you back because you're expensive. And pretty large orange attack, but with Yellow's help, who has progressed into seemingly decent amounts of Robotech. We're in great shape. Okay, and then we're starting to finally wrap around. This terrain here is a little awkward. It's hard to tell what's on the high ground and what is not, but now we can actually... I know there's an expansion we could take in the upper right. So being able to take that will be really, really great. Okay, so let's start making some Corsairs. We shouldn't need too many of them. I just want to Disruption Web just a couple of the things in our way. Okay, take care of you. And then where is Zeratul? I don't think he needs to be here anymore, so let's move him up to our main front. Again, we're camping the Nidus Canals. It's all working out.
So be it. Very well.
Random orange stuff. I want to go and find that expansion. They may have taken it. It looks like they did. Maybe they didn't. I obviously want this base. I've got plenty of cash right now. They did take it. All right, let's make sure that they're not going to re-expand. Okay, and I suppose I could start making carriers as well. I almost feel like it would be a waste of my supply. I mean, it's better, I think, to stockpile money and then be able to reinforce into red. And in fact, I'm going to move up to red now and get into this base and ensure that it stays relatively safe. And then we're going to make our master plan move into orange. And all will be well with the world. Let's get down here and finish up this little area. And then I'm going to take the upper left, upper right, middle right, whatever this is.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, very nice. So I technically could start. I could just start this, I think, but I don't think I should. But I am going to start rallying my gateways and robo facilities into Red's base. But first, again, I still am trying to figure out how I want to do this. So I'm going to hotkey the Corsairs.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Hotkey a group of interceptors. This might be all I need. I just need to find where they are. So, like, I can see some here. So, like, we move this group here.
May I be of service? Ready for battle.
Oh, well, I deserved that for removing my hotkey of Artanis, and I also had just thrown him into the base without putting him on hold position. This is going decently, though. Again, if I can snipe those Nidus canals, I don't know if they're going to rebuild them or not. If I'm diving into these bases, I might as well just kill the hives, but I don't think it's going to be that smooth. How far back was I? Way too far back. Was that my most recent save? Oh, man. Okay, that's fine. I'll get us back to where we were. White is gone, and we're preparing our assault into orange. Okay, we're back. I've got my group of interceptors, and I've got my 2 Corsairs ready to go. I just have to find what I'm looking for. So here and here and here. So let's move on up, and then I've got this group of units which I am ready to send home somewhere. It's probably just down here.
So be it.
Artanis and Zeratul just sit on hold position for now. No need to risk ya. Then I'll have more income soon. I'm gonna try to continue getting my upgrades while we pay attention to doing this. That's some pretty good DPS. Okay, so like disruption web here, and then just fly these things in, and then other Corsair. That's my original Corsair. Is this what I'm looking for? I don't know, but maybe I just have enough of these things to dive through here and kill the canals. Okay, well that was it for this island. So now what I have to do is rebuild the Hornets. Guess I could have tried to keep some of these alive. Is rebuild the Hornets and then do the same up on the other island. The question is, will they be rebuilding these? I don't know. We're waiting a while for creep to recede. I can go ahead and get some defense up here because I'm expecting orange is going to be dropping over here. Yeah, well, they're going to be sending stuff.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, that's fine. So now I'll save again because, again, first raid successful. And I'm just going to wait. What's the hotkey for these? H. Okay. And then I need more pylons. So all of these probes, I'm going to make a run for this area up here. And if they all die, it's fine, simply because if they're not mining from up there, there's nowhere for them to be mining anyway. I also could take this. Let's get one DT over here who can probably help. And then hopefully the creep is receded enough. It has. There's something burrowed here. I need an observer.
We are under attack.
Okay, and then we're just steadily waiting. I'm going to go ahead and grab my last set of upgrades and then start air weapons. Did I send? I think I sent an observer over here, yeah. Question is, do I have anything to kill it with, whatever we find?
So be it.
A hunter killer. Interesting. You saw how fast it was able to regenerate there. Interesting how it didn't pop up to try to bother killing us. Okay, so this is all good to go, and I'm waiting for more Hornets.
We are under attack.
I'm sorry, probes. Let's see if we can maybe grab some Dragoons and just send them over there to defend this for now. And or the cannons will finish. In time. How long on the Nexus itself? Hello? The defense we're setting up here is probably a little superfluous because I don't expect this base to survive for very long.
We are under attack.
Okay, well, cannons are finishing, so we're all good. And then we've got random Mutalisks flying all over. Okay, so still waiting for more Hornets.
We are under attack.
And again, I'm at the point where I'm not sure if it's even worth me trying to raid the last base or not, or maybe we just want to get the timer started. As you can see, I definitely still need the income.
You have not enough minerals.
It's just these jerks are going to be flying in from all over the place,
Have engaged the enemy.
trying to stop us. So yeah, we need this income before we can really do anything else. So let's go ahead and move these guys onto harvest, and then we'll set up this base. What's going on over here? Go for it, buddies. Look, my allies actually came over to try to help us. It's kind of neat.
We are under attack.
Okay, so are we done here? We got this last Hornet, and then we're gonna go and look for the last. Oh, did this actually get destroyed? I wonder.
Yes.
Let's go and look. Like, if you destroy the entrance, then maybe the output also gets destroyed, because otherwise it's invulnerable. That would be neat. Again, I'm not holding my breath, but it would be cool. This area's been holding out just fine. And let's go ahead and save. I feel like I've maybe taken too long, because there's always a long... no, that's still there. There's always a long period of actually defending the temple. Again, I know I'm saving a lot. Let's go and see if we can find those other canals. I can't really see any through the fog of war. I just kind of have to make a dive in and just shoot whatever ones I find.
Engage the enemy.
Those are just random spore colonies. Cool. Here's one. There's one. There's two.
Upgrade complete.
Very nice. They said raid their hives. Come on. Come on. Nice. Okay, we got it. Just barely. So that might be their only way to get to us. Now they're gonna have to resort to overlord dropping. Is my guess. Okay, and we're setting up this base, and there's gonna be stuff that's gonna get dropped all over this as well. So I'm gonna have to set up more defense. New probes, and then we can rally these probes because this is done. So now we've got our two bases. I had to secure more income. I absolutely had to. There was no other way. Okay, we've got a little defense here. We are 3-3-3 on the ground, and then air is on the way soon. This is depleted? Yeah. Okay, so I think it's about time. Especially because we've raided the hives, and in theory they can't get through these Nidus canals anymore. I think maybe we move our units up and actually begin the process.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
It's important that we actually keep these bases alive, though, because I cannot utilize the income. Yeah, see, they're dropping. They have no way to get over here anymore. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Not enough minerals.
Okay. A little overboard with the cannons. Again, it's semi-necessary. Now let's get over here and try to keep this base alive. We're losing a lot of our probes. We can try to flee for now. Again, I realize I'm going like semi-overboard with a lot of this stuff, but I think it's semi-necessary, and then I'll just build a few cannons back here.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Now we saved some of them. Just need cannons to shoo them away, because the attacks that they're sending at me are not huge.
We are under attack.
You know, I just need enough to kind of shoo away the attacks just like this one. But again, I need to get this base resaturated, and they're gonna keep pecking away at us. So let's just wait for a moment. Again, it's very tempting. Oh, they lost their base here. It's very tempting to move up and start this countdown. I'm gonna go ahead and move into this base. I'm gonna save as usual. This base should be relatively safe now, as long as we set up a couple cannons to get rid of harassing mutalisks, and then we can build more probes to get this saturated. That should give us all the income that we should need. Should. Let's get some probes up here. Let's keep moving in. We have some Reavers again. I'm going to be rallying all my new gateways up into Red's base, because that's what needs to be defended, and this is only going to get more challenging as time goes on, I think. So maybe I should have just started the timer much, much earlier.
Direct my wrath.
Okay, let's throw them in there. I just saved.
The rush is secured.
The palace is secured.
Executor, Zeratul and I will begin to channel the temple's energies. You must prevent the Zerg from destroying the temple while we work. Adon be with you, Executor.
All right. And then we're just going to make units and rally them into the base. Only 15 minutes. Okay, I'll take it. I don't mind that.
Waiting. So be it.
Yellow is defending my bases. That is fantastic. And again, this is where like having a couple scouts or even just hornets to roam around and kill those like things like that, like guardians, would probably be worthwhile. I think I was woefully unprepared for this type of... Again, first off, I let red get wiped out pretty decisively early without moving in and defending him. I've got really good map presence, mostly. But, unfortunately, I neglected what mattered the most, which was the actual base, the actual middle area. But I think maybe by holding down the outskirts, it's going to distract the enemies from moving directly in to attack the temple. So maybe this will work. And again, we'll just cycle the saves. I continue to have decent income. Okay, these were destroyed again. I still need this income, so... one thing that I could do is start making High Templar into Archons, because I have plenty of gas, but no minerals. Okay, so I got a little rapid response crew here of Hornets. And red is still a force to be reckoned with, right? So as long as we support red from multiple angles, hopefully he'll be okay. Dude, bridge defenses, let's go!
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
I guess let's move on in and set up some cannons a little bit further into this base. I'm not really sure. Okay, zealots. And then I think just hornets, because they can again fly around and help us where is necessary. I mean, at this point, I didn't need the Nexus. The fact that these ignore armor in the late game like this is actually excellent. It's actually excellent. Okay, good work, buddies. I would love to see red making an attempt to rebuild. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying it would be great. Part of the problem too, I guess I could have taken this. I don't have anywhere that I can take a new base.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep making units, Revenants, Dragoons. We are gonna need more anti-air, so I think getting some scouts up here couldn't hurt. More Hornets, and as long as we're reinforcing the actual area of the temple, I'm hopeful, at least, that this will all work out. Because red is still a functional ally. He's got plenty of production structures. Now that we're here actually helping him, maybe that'll, make all the difference. Okay, and then I need, again, rapid response team of Hornets to go around and kill Guardians. That's your job. Okay, Ultralisks as well, countered pretty decently by what I've got. Gonna make scouts and then scout APL sensors. Yes. I left these guys here for a reason. I need to retain this income. Orange can keep sending this garbage as much as he wants. Better that he send it here than the temple. That's what I say. We're about halfway done. Steadily getting pushed back, I feel like, in this area. Again, I'm trying... Oh, my gosh.
There is no hope.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Which High Templar just said that? Oh, and these guys are cloaked. Remember that I did save before all this, so replaying this really would not be a major issue. Okay, down go my outlying bases, and that was my production, unfortunately, so somehow we're going to have to do this with what remains. Specifically, wow, and our ally got wiped out. I guess that was the whole there is no hope. Probably from just, like, mass guardians at this point. Yellow's next. At which point they're going to turn and converge on the temple. So a lot of this, again, I think was, you know, maintaining the integrity of our outlying bases for long enough to just allow the timer to tick down. Did I get a probe up here somewhere? I did. Okay, so we need to make some production. If I would have just made 12 carriers and set them in the base, but that would have been boring, so that's not how we're going to play this. But I do have to cram in whatever I can down here. And that's all my income. But again, what we're doing is we're relying on the fact that we do have these outlying bases that might be able to hold on for just long enough until this happens, right? So, flee into the base. Okay, Reaver, I need those scarabs. Coming in hot. It's a lot of guardians. I think we had an okay start, and I think now that I know what is going to happen once we put him in the temple, I can I can have the necessary units prepared. Because, again, I still have a lot of income, and this will stay alive if we just leave, like, 2 or 3 scouts here. Meanwhile, we know that they're going to attack these outskirts as well. If we have a roaming group of Hornets, this base would have survived. We might have been able to save Teal if we tried real hard. But yeah, I mean, it ramps up very quick from when you start the timer, that's for sure. So again, what I'll do is I'll get better prepared, and I'll come back and meet you on the temple. Okay, things are starting to go down the tube for our allies, so this is when I'm going to go ahead and hit it. As you can see, my supply's in a much better position. So let's kick it off. I've got some carriers, not many.
Is secured.
The palace is secured.
Executor. Zeratul and I will begin to channel the temple's energies. You must prevent the Zerg from destroying the temple while we work. Adon be with you, Executor.
Okay, and then let's go ahead and cycle the save here. Again, I still don't have a ton of extra money right here, so I spent what I had, and now I'm going to just try to reinforce from the small amount of buildings that I have in here. I had a probe, and I don't know where it is now. I had a probe in this, there it is. Well, again, a single probe, not going to really be too useful. I might want to move some probes that I have to get over here so that I can rebuild where necessary.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, and I'm just frantically, you know, anything that I can do, especially Hornets, because again, they're fast and I can react quickly.
Not enough minerals. We are under attack.
Would be pretty ideal. I have exactly 10 supplies, so I could...
Awaiting command.
I could make one more carrier.
Instructions. We are under attack.
These two just, I guess, sit here for now. And then, again, let the Zerg get distracted by all the stuff that I have on the outskirts. That's all well and good. And then I do have a few High Templar, which I'll try to utilize in some good fashion. I don't know. Okay, interceptor here. That's fine. Just fly over those. You're fine, buddy. Just get into the base. Okay, and I guess let's queue up one more carrier. If it gets destroyed, then we'll get the money back. And again, this is where things certainly start to go crazy. Getting just, the occasional cannons back here and then relying on red to actually react where necessary will be helpful. And this is, again, it's very frantic, so again, I'm just going to keep saving over safety 1 and then keep safety 2 for prior to this. Nekron wanted to make it known that everything that you see in this mission is built. None of it is spawned. I guess besides the allied dragoons that show up, right? Let's hotkey these.
We are under attack.
Waiting for our final thing here, and again, I'm mostly making Hornets. They're cheap, they build relatively quick, and it allows us to take out a lot of this stuff. No. Again, I'm going to try to keep the High Templars sort of back so that I can use them where necessary.
We are under attack.
Did I lose a carrier already? I guess so. That's right, chase them down. That's what those are for. Go and get these.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Try and take those out before they get a good foothold in any particular location. Here, probe. Again, it's just cannons mostly to delay. Granted, zealots would be better to delay because they're cheaper. Pretty large group that, again, just like random stuff. This is why I have all these Hornets. Mostly just spread them out and chase away Overlords as they drop in. Those Devourers are real beefy. Okay, I think that's acceptable. Let's make sure that we're rebuilding our Scarabs. And yellow is somehow still alive, so maybe that will draw the enemy's ire for a while, at least. Here, come on down here. Again, if we could take care of these. I think they say that when their base goes down. Obviously, I've got these little outskirt areas, anything that can distract the enemy from a particular place. I'm going to make a run with these probes. They're probably not going to make it, but if we could get them down here, that would be cool. Let's get these Reavers up into position and attack with our cannons. And this is where the enemy's really going to start converging on us, so I don't know. I don't have a... I don't really have a strategy here. We can maybe try to auto-attack with this small group of Dragoons and Revenants to get them towards the temple, if only to kill some of the stuff. I love how I have these individual fellas coming down here. Again, attacking these may just end up with them getting rebuilt, though, so that might not be the smartest choice. Okay, Reaver, let's bring you close. Hey, some of my probes made it. And I'm looking for... Yeah, here's one. I was going to say, I know I've got High Templar just sort of in here. Block for me, probes. They're doing it. The real question is, how fast can the enemy realistically build and reinforce in order to keep this going, you know? Pylons, I realize, are going to be my main struggle at the end of the day. I'm mostly looking for groups of Guardians that I can snipe with my little... Again, I keep calling it my rapid response team.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
This base is somehow still alive. Again, eventually they're going to come flooding up through this location. And I've got Reavers and I've got units to block for them. So that's all I can really do right now. And then these will help us against Ultralisks and Guardians. We've got the carriers in place. 3 carriers, it's fine. But I am forever stuck at 169 supply, and it's only going to decrease because I don't have the pylons to be able to build more. Granted, I mean, I could. I've got probes. I could just build pylons to distract. We have 6 minutes, so, you know, we're over halfway. And again, I'm relying on my outskirts to really... I think this group's going to start flooding in from this location, so let's get ready for some fatty storms. And if we can distract Guardians and Mutalisks or whatever with pylons, then fine. Also, we might be able to start building out of this gateway if we build enough.
We are under attack.
Those brave High Templar. They're still alive! Look at them go! Well, unfortunately, they're going to get roasted right here. The interesting thing is that you'll stay alive for exactly as long as you'll stay alive for exactly as long as you beefed up the outskirts of your bases, because it's buying time for this. As soon as all of these Zergs start converging on us, we're going to have a much, much harder time. Okay, get up here, I guess start storming. That was not where I told them to do that, but you know, it's fine. We take what we can get.
We are under attack.
Again, looking at the minimap, I think it's a lot worse than it seems a lot worse than it is. Where did I get? Oh no, yeah, that's fine. That's appropriate. I have one gateway. I can only, you know what? We're making zealots. That's what we can afford. Red is our ally. Getting a little distracted by that. Again, eventually, the majority of these units are going to flood in, likely from this direction. So we've got probes to block for us. I've got Reavers to start blasting away. I have some High Templar, which I'm going to try to land some fatty storms. And then we're just going to hold on to our butts and pray. This is it. This is why I built this group right here, to chase this stuff down. It's really that simple. It should be able to kill Guardians extremely quick. And then I will make individual zealots as necessary. I'll get more. I mean, I can make gateways to block as well. The thing is, this can go south at such a fast pace. Like, it doesn't take a lot for this to just nosedive immediately, like in less than 30 seconds. The only positive is that all these orange units have a long way to go to get back to us. Long, long way to go. Okay, we're losing the pylons that we set up. I don't have much money to keep building these. I feel like 144 supplies should be enough to keep us alive for the remainder of this. Look at this, we're chipping away at orange. Honestly, this orange stuff dying just means it's going to get rebuilt and then quickly ferried over to where it needs to be to attack us. So maybe this was not the right choice. I don't know. Again, I like to feel like I'm doing this, you know, I got a bit more of a scrappy force as opposed to, you know, like 10 carriers. I think that gets kind of lame. So I like to mix it up. And granted, carriers are severely nerfed. Severely, severely nerfed. No, kill it. Okay, it's done. It's gone. Keep rebuilding the scarabs. I've been expecting a flood like a torrent down the middle, but instead it's really the sides that are getting chipped away. Less than a minute. I'm going to save because this is a situation where I feel like even if there was a massive push by the AI, it's not that we can't lose, it's that if we played it right with less than a minute left, we in theory can't lose. You know, if I did literally nothing, we would lose, but I feel like with less than a minute and, you know, over 100 supply of mostly combat units, I think we got it under control. Also, disallowing orange from being able to reinforce. This is not the time to be going on the offense, Red. Disallowing orange from being able to reinforce from Nidus Canals is great.
Withdraw our forces into the temple and brace yourself.
All right, boys, get inside. Even the probes. Even yellow survived out here. Quick, you got a long way to go. Get inside the temple. Somehow, with the chaotic nature of this map, it all sort of lined up well with the timer, right? The outlying bases going down, the converging on the temple, it all just sort of worked out. Now, I obviously preemptively started the temple timer earlier because I expected it to be 30 minutes and not 15. So, because it was shorter, it meant that the enemy really started focusing the temple a lot earlier, a lot harder, a lot faster. So, you know, with that in mind, I rewound. I built some carriers. I made sure I had storm research and got a couple extra Reavers up there, just hard-hitting units, and we pulled through. This was a fun campaign. I really enjoyed this. And I guess just for posterity's sake, we can watch the last cinematic, because it's always satisfying to see. Cool. Well, that's our first UEDAIP campaign all done. And I really liked the way this campaign functioned. It's kind of stupid of me to do a bit of a review / retrospective here after I had played the cinematic where most people probably close the video. Also, I realize there's some people that probably want me to just play all the briefings like normal, but again, there's no reason. We've seen them all a million times and they're all the same. We might watch one of the UED ones because I know that the graphics are slightly different, like recolored or something like that. But yeah, I liked pretty much all of these. I think the only one that I didn't like as much was Escape from Ire, just because of the infested Terrans, and it really set my expectations in a wonky way for the rest of the missions. But I liked the way all the macro missions functioned. And I think it's easy to look at this mod and say, oh, it just makes the game harder, which is definitely not the case. This mod, it changes a lot of things. I think just something as simple as adding a day-night cycle just makes the maps look a little more interesting, as well as the way that all of your allied AI function. But I don't think it's heavy-handed with the allied AI. It felt heavy-handed in Countdown, and that's because the whole point of the mission is the remaining Protoss have all come together to retreat into one location to then basically exterminate all other life on the planet. So, from that perspective, I think that it was fine. I think it's interesting. I feel like the yellow AI should have been the cyan AI, because the cyan AI was the Kali settlers, or whatever they were called, from the Insurgent. So they should have been the ones that were could expand if you took the pacifist route, I suppose. Though maybe there's a very specific reason for using the different factions. I think cyan was also the color that we played as on Return to Char that didn't have zealots, I think. So maybe that's the cyan that was being used there, or maybe it was a slightly different shade of blue and I didn't realize it was actually different. But Dunes of Securus, Legacy of the Zelnaga, Quest for the Uraj, Return to Char, I liked all of these. The Insurgent was fine, but I mean, I played it defensively, which made it very easy and almost boring. But it's neat that there's, again, like an alternate option to end the mission, and it's thematic to the mission as well, where you'd think that, okay, in this situation, they wouldn't just go and kill him outright. They'd defend themselves until they could figure out what to do, as opposed to just exterminating him and every single person that may be wrongfully following Eldaris, right? So, from that perspective, I feel like these missions all, they can retroactively look at these missions that as they were originally crafted, and look at the campaign as a whole, and then say, okay, well, what would make this fit better with the overall story that was written originally that the original maps didn't do, now that we have 20 years of time to think about it. And also, again, it's not as simple as they're harder. They are harder, but not in a ridiculous way. I had a good time, and I feel like this was the right amount of challenge for someone of my skill level. And again, I wouldn't be daunted by this. If you're interested, definitely give it a shot. As always, the download link is in the description, and I may take a bit of a break while I record some of the UED episodes before I start uploading again. So for now, I hope you enjoyed the Protoss campaign, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.